Hello, and welcome to Focus on Hope. Our guest today is Carla Over. Hi, Carla.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, Carla. You have an exciting program.
I have some wonderful programs, but we're going to talk about one in particular today.
Yes, tell me about it.
Well, I'm with the County Health Department, and I work for the community health education programs. So we have a lot of different programs. And one of the most exciting ones to me is the Chronic Disease Self-Management Program. It's a healthy living program and is for anyone who has a chronic condition. And it's a support system, but it's also education and help and support for them in the future.
That's good. It offers self-management techniques. What does that mean?
It means we're not telling people what to do. We're giving them tools to move forward. When the doctor says you have diabetes, people say, now what?
Yes.
So we give them tools, and it's chronic conditions. So we cover people that come to us have heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, fibromyalgia, chronic pulmonary issues. We have some people that come just with depression and want social support.
Yes.
So we see a lot of different people in our programs.
Yes. What does a person walk away with?
They walk away with the tools to help themselves. So we talk about, it's 6 weeks.
Yes.
And in those 6 weeks, we meet for 2.5 hours each week.
Wow, that's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time.
Yes.
But we get to know each other, and they get to know other participants. So they walk away with some social support. They walk away with more information about their particular condition. It's not a medical program at all. We're not talking about a specific condition, disease. We're talking about these people have all kinds of different things, but we do a lot of brainstorming and help them see how they have a lot of similarities.
Yes.
They have different conditions, but they have similarities. So we're talking about making action plans and setting goals for yourself. And that may be as simple as I want to walk to the mailbox and back this week.
Yes.
So each week we set an action plan, and that includes the facilitators. I love the program because I get to set an action plan too.
Yeah.
And I hold myself responsible to making that happen that week. So it might be a really simple goal, but we talk about taking baby steps and how do you get there. People aren't ready to get out and walk for 2 miles, but they might be able to walk to the mailbox and back. So we talk about goal setting. We talk about ways to talk to your physician.
That's difficult
Yeah,
sometimes.
we grew up with the physician knows best. If they say take this, okay, so you take this, but you don't ask any other questions. So we talk about, these are the questions that you want. People will come to me and say, but what about this? And I say, that's something your doctor can answer for you. You just have to go in with your list of questions and decide ahead of time, and don't say, okay, doctor knows best. They obviously do because that's how they're trained.
Yes.
But we need to know the questions to ask to get the answers that we want.
That's difficult.
It really is. It really is. And we spend almost a whole session problem solving, brainstorming on what are the questions that you might have and how do you phrase those to the doctor.
Yeah.
Because, that's just the way we were brought up. So we want to be able to say, okay, today I want to know, if I take this medicine, what is its purpose? What is it supposed to do for me? What are the possible side effects? When should I call you? All of those things that we get into the doctor's office, and you do it too, because I do it too, and go, oh, he's so busy.
He's so busy,
He's so busy. He's ready to move on to the next person. But you need to go in there with your questions. Because if you're comfortable with the medication that you're taking, or the treatment, or the physical therapy, and you know why the doctor's ordering that, you're going to be more likely to comply with those orders.
That's true. That's true.
If you don't know what it is why he wants you to do that, you're more likely to say, well, maybe not. But we want you to understand why the doctor's saying this so that you're more likely to comply.
Yeah.
So
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I've been in the Cottonwood area for almost 20 years now.
Oh, good.
So I raised my kids here in the school system. They're off and grown up and on their own now. But I love the community. I love the Verde Valley. So I've been working with the health department for 14 years in the same department, working
Wow.
in community health education.
Yeah.
Teaching in the schools. In the schools, we teach we teach physical activity, nutrition, community wellness as a whole, healthy relationships, all types of things. So I supervise a staff of 4 that go into the schools, and unfortunately, I get to stay in the office more. I love being out with the kids and in the community. But on my off time, I hike and do yoga and work out at the rec center and try to live what I'm teaching.
Teaching, yes. That gets kind of difficult sometimes.
Yes, it gets kind of difficult when you get busy, and we all get busy. I work with, in this program, I work with seniors, and some of their problems are they're too busy to come to class. They're retired.
And they're stubborn.
And they're well, yeah. We're all stubborn.
Yes.
But they're too busy to get to schedule this class. So I understand that. And it's just about setting priorities. But I do the same thing with myself. That's why I said I love the goal setting piece and the action planning piece of this program, because I do it too when I facilitate this program, and it holds me accountable to getting some of the things done that I wanted to get done.
That's good.
Yeah.
How many participants do you usually have?
We like to have a minimum of 10 to 12 in a group. We've done 15 to 20. I don't really like to go over 15 because it's really a very personal, individualized. Yeah. Everybody gets a chance to talk. Everybody participates. So I like to keep it between 10 and 15 people.
Yeah.
And we have this program here in the Verde Valley and also on the Prescott side.
Oh, that's good.
So it's going all over the county. Actually, it's all over the state. The Healthy Living Institute is in Phoenix, and they oversee the county programs.
Wow.
But when we do it in Yavapai County, it's both sides of the mountain.
Tell me about some of your biggest challenges.
Let's see. I think in this program, some of the biggest challenges are working with people that really want to make changes, and they can say, this is what I want to do, but then they get stuck someplace along the way. So we just have to backtrack and say, okay, so you didn't get this far this week. Let's set a smaller goal for next week and back up and just do a baby step. Maybe what we took in for the first week was too much.
Okay.
So we just back up. So it's challenging to say, okay, well, I can see that you could have done this, but you didn't get there, and that's okay.
Okay.
So let's back up and see what you can do. So it's challenging, but that it's not unworkable.
Yeah, that sounds fascinating.
Yes.
Now, what are some of the goals that people make for themselves?
Frequently, it is physical activity or nutrition that they want to start walking a certain amount, or maybe their doctor or physical therapist has said you need to go to the rec center 3 times a week and work on this particular machine. So they set those goals and say, and sometimes it's I will get to the rec center once this week.
Okay.
And then the next week it's maybe, okay, this time I'm going for twice. So they set physical activity goals. Sometimes they set nutrition goals, especially if they're diabetic or have just been diagnosed as diabetic and their doctor wants them changing the way they eat, and they don't really always know what that means. So we might set a goal of adding an extra fruit or an extra vegetable and taking out a sweet. Just as simple as that, every day for the week. Sometimes they know that they need to eat more vegetables, or they need to not eat sweets, the ones that when they're diabetic, they need to cut back on those. Or sometimes it's soda. They need to cut back on the sodas that they're drinking. And they'll make those as their goals. And we never tell people what their goals should be. These are all self-directed goals. So they're doing it themselves. I would never say you need to do this week. we brainstorm on what people would like to do, what they would like to see in changes in their lives, and then we help if they need help. If they can't set it themselves, we will help them brainstorm with how do you want that to look. So we make it measurable goals. We make it things that people can meet. We don't want anybody setting themselves up for failure.
Yeah.
If somebody says, oh, I'm going to go to the rec center 7 days this week, I know that's probably not going to happen. Though I have one gentleman that did that, and he made it every time. He was ready to make that change, and he did it every time. He managed to get there 7 days.
Wow.
Yes. And sometimes it is their goal that they set is talking to their doctor. They might have a doctor's appointment coming up.
Yes.
So writing a list of questions for their doctor, and make sure you take them with you to the appointment.
Yes.
And, most doctors will say, pick those 3 key questions that you really want answered this time. But what we found is they might have 6 questions.
Yes.
And the doctor might see 3 priorities in there different than the priorities that they see. So sometimes we say, take your 6 questions in and say, these are my questions, hand it to the doctor, and let them pick the 3.
Okay.
Because sometimes that's really important.
Yeah.
They might have something they don't think is a big deal,
Mm.
but the doctor might. So we do that. Sometimes people pick more personal goals, like they need some time to do something for themselves, a hobby, craft type of thing. And I've had people set a goal of, I'm going to either work on my sewing 3 days this week, or I'm going to read 3 days this week. It's taking time for themselves. So one of the areas we cover is stress reduction in our programs. And one of the things you do for stress reduction is take care of yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Well, yes.
Isn't that what we all need to be reminded of?
Yes, it's a good reminder for me. Now, are caretakers allowed?
Absolutely. Caretakers are encouraged. When you're a caretaker for someone with a chronic condition, you have as many things going on as they do.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of where the stress comes in. And the caretaker may have diabetes. The caretaker may have high blood pressure. So the caretaker is absolutely involved. So family members that are home taking care of someone with chronic disease, it's just as important for them to remember how to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
So yes, we encourage that.
Now, the cost?
Absolutely free. Absolutely free. Like I said, it's a 6-week program, 2.5 hours each week. We like people to commit to the program, because you may not get anything the first week, but you know what? The second week with the next topic may hit the spot. So we encourage people to really focus, give the program some time. But it's absolutely free, and at this point there's a book that goes with it on chronic disease, chronic conditions, living your best, healthiest life, and that is free at this point as well. And it's a really great book.
Big book?
Yeah, it's about this thick, and we don't follow the book through the program. It's more there as a resource. But I've had people that have gone home with it and sat down and read through chapter by chapter and really enjoyed it and really got some good things out of it.
Once a person commits to the program, or
Sometimes we do. I've had people that have gone to the first week or 2 and they've just decided that it's not for them. And that's okay. I've had a couple of people that go, oh, I know all this. And they may or may not, but so they just say, thank you very much. I've had a couple of people that have not felt well after, the first, they go through 1 week, 2 weeks, and then get sick. We did one last winter, and there was a bug going around. And so I had a couple of people that dropped out of a couple of classes and then came back towards the end because they really missed it, or have called me and said, can I join the next one? I missed 4 classes because I wasn't feeling well. Can you let me know when the next one is so I can join that? And that's okay too. We're there to help people in whatever it is they need.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. When you were growing up, did you see yourself as doing this or working with people?
I always wanted to work with people. I think my dad's a pastor, retired now, and I was always involved in the church and whatever was going on with the church and teaching Sunday school and all of those things. In school, in high school, I was involved in the social clubs, the key clubs, and the social things that were out in the community, helping with the community. So, I've worked with teen moms and babies, and I've worked in Head Start programs, and I've worked in daycare centers, and,
Wow.
it's always involved with people. The few jobs that I've had that have not been involved with people, I really get bored really fast.
Yeah.
Because I just don't feel like I'm using my skills, my personality to the best possibilities.
Yes.
So I always get back involved with people. And I end up, volunteering and doing extra things in my spare time. And so, yes, I probably have always been pretty health conscious too. So this is not a surprise
Yes.
career for me.
Wow. Tell me some stories
Of what type
of the people who have gone through the program and have been successful.
Okay. I've had couples join the program. You ask about caregivers,
Yeah.
where they both have some sort of chronic condition going on. So one is not even really designated caregiver. They're helping each other.
Okay.
So they go to start walking together.
Okay.
Any place you go, the buddy system works better than anything. So if you have two people and they start walking together, and it may be to the mailbox and back, and then to the next day to the end of the block and back. And through 6 weeks, you can see how they're encouraging each other. Then not only do they get time together,
Yes.
but they're encouraging each other to continue that physical activity and keep walking and keep going. And I've seen some good headway in physical activity and increasing that physical activity. I've also seen people who, nobody really loses weight, I don't think, in 6 weeks, because it's not really about that. But they see a change in their diet, see a change in their nutrition, and see a change in the way they feel.
Yeah.
And that's always great to see, because you know that they're going to continue it. And we always invite them to come back.
Oh, that's good.
If they do the 6 weeks and a few months down the road, they feel like, well, maybe I could use that again, they're welcome to come back and do it
that's
again
good.
with us. Yes.
Now, do you follow up?
We usually don't, but living in the Verde Valley, it's a small community, and I see people around. I see them in Walmart, I see them at the rec center, I see them at community events, and they'll come up and say hi and tell me how they're doing. I ran into a gentleman the other day, and he said, "When's the next class?" And he did the program, a year or so ago. And he said, he's, "How are you doing?" And he's still walking, and, I said, "Come back and join us if you want."
Wow.
So, yeah, so I don't particularly follow up individually.
Yes.
People know that they can call if they have questions.
Okay.
But I don't particularly follow up. They have healthcare providers, they have caregivers. We're there if they need us.
You mentioned the rec center.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have some kind of discount for seniors?
They don't. Well, they do. Yes, actually, they have a pass that is senior related that you get over. Over 55, I believe. You qualify for a senior discount, which is quite a substantial discount, and you can get a 10-day pass, type 10 visit pass, that you can have punched every time you go through. You just have a card. They also have the Silver Sneakers program, which is connected with one of the health insurance companies.
What's the senior?
Silver Sneakers is an extra membership, and I believe your insurance company pays for it.
Wow.
And I believe it's Blue Cross Blue Shield or one of the big companies sponsors it.
Now, the rec center, some people don't know what the rec center is.
Okay, so in Cottonwood, we were lucky enough to have the city built a huge, wonderful center that has a pool and has weights and has classes and has a lot of things to encourage people to be physically active. I'm lucky, and it's right across the parking lot from my office. So, but it's something, because it gets too hot here.
Yes.
People say, I can't walk, it's too hot. Absolutely, I can't walk, it's too hot for me to be out. But you can go and walk indoors. Now, having said that, I've also had people that have found other ways to do that, and will go to Walmart, go to one of the other stores, and walk indoors in the air conditioning, just to get out.
Yes.
And they can move. There's a story. I had a gentleman who decided he was going to walk Walmart, the outer limits of the building, over and over again, and he put his little pedometer on to measure his steps, and that was his goal, and he did that, and he's still doing that, and that's how he gets his physical activity.
That's wonderful.
Yes, there are ways to do it without spending money.
Now, when somebody first joins your workshop,
Mm-hmm.
what can they expect?
They can expect, we put the tables in a circle so that it's not a classroom kind of teaching opportunity. We sit in a circle, or put the tables around in a circle, so that everybody's having some input into what's going on. We have 2 facilitators.
Oh, you have 2.
Yeah, we work together in teams so that we're not talking for 2.5 hours. We actually do about a 45-minute to an hour session, and then give them a 20-minute break, because we know most people can't sit for 2+ hours. It's
Okay.
not comfortable, especially if they're dealing with back problems or leg problems or anything. So we just let them get up and move around for 20 minutes. Go get water. We have snacks there. We have bottled water. So we have some little bit of social time. People can get up and move around. And then we sit back down and finish the sessions. In the sessions, we do brainstorming, where we actually throw out a question, write it up on the board, and everybody tosses in their input. And that's how people help each other. You may have a technique that works for you, and I may have a technique that works for me, but if we throw them all into the basket, somebody that doesn't know what they're doing is going to be able to maybe pull something out of there that they can use. So we do a lot of brainstorming.
Yeah.
We do a lot of education, that this is what people, let's take depression.
Okay.
So you have a new condition, or just discovered you have this condition. One of the first responses may be depression. What am I going to do about this? I don't know where to go with this. And what it does is we talk about, okay, so this is what depression is clinically. This is what it looks like. What can you do? So we brainstorm, what does it look like? Because it looks different for everybody. And then we talk about some of that, clarify some of those, and then what techniques have you found that might help this? And again, everybody throws out their ideas, and we might go through at the end and clarify some of those. So that what we do is we give everybody a self-management toolbox.
Yes.
We post it on the board, and there are 10, 12 things in this self-management toolbox.
Okay.
And the top one might not work for you, but it might work for somebody else. But you might find that the 4th one down really does work for you. The social support is one of those things that a lot of people don't see, but that's a technique for dealing with depression. It's really hard. It can be hard for people to ask, but social support is one of those things. Learning to take care of ourselves. Learning to say, okay, I really need to do this. And put yourself first.
Yes.
Okay.
Learn how to say no.
Yes, absolutely. And that may be in your toolbox. We have a general toolbox, but I think by the end of the program, people walk away with their own personal toolbox. What we talked about in this class might not work for you, but if you come up with a variation on that, or something a little bit farther down, you're going to walk away with a toolbox of how do I do this.
Wow.
So it's a very fulfilling program. I think people get a lot out of it, and that's why I'm really excited about it.
Oh. We're just about out of time.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
I think maybe we just need a minute if there's no other questions on this program. This program is part of Yavapai County Community Health Services. And I think not everybody knows how to access services. And we have in Cottonwood, we have a clinic. It's the Yavapai County Health Clinic.
Where's it located?
Brand new building. It's actually the address is Brian Mickelson Parkway, which is the road that goes between the rec center and the library off of 6th Street.
Okay.
But it's a brand new building, and it's 2 years old now. But people don't know where to find it. And they offer travel immunizations, children's immunizations.
Travel immunizations?
Yes. If you're going to go to a foreign country, they can tell you what you need, and your doctor can tell you what you need for immunizations to travel to that country.
Okay.
But they can give you the immunizations to make sure that you're safe as you're traveling. We also have primary care services, dental services, children's services, and right there in this clinic.
Oh.
Yes, and they take private insurance and they take access. So it's a nice clinic. It's a nice service for the community.
Wow.
So we have that, and in our public health building we have WIC, which is Women, Infants, Children.
What does WIC do?
WIC provides nutrition counseling and nutritional food vouchers for women pregnant or with new babies or young babies, and gives them the vouchers so that they can get the food that they need to stay healthy.
And that's free?
That is free, and you have to qualify financially, but most people seem to qualify financially for that. So they have services there. We also have environmental health in our building, and they're the ones that inspect the restaurants, inspect the hotel pools, trap mosquitoes to check for West Nile virus, all of that kind of things. That's within our public health department. We also have maternal child health services for babies and pregnant women. And then we have community health education, and we cover the school and the community events and this program in particular and all of those different things.
Wow. Wow, you have a wealth of information.
That's why I said, what would you like me to talk about? I have so much stuff.
Well, this has been interesting. I really want to thank you, Carla.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
And thank you for joining us. And we will see you next time on Hope is Alive and Focus on Hope.